Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. In today's video, we discuss Bitcoin and why its downfall is imminent. Personally, I think it will occur simultaneously with a market collapse, but if you don't trust me, you should definitely put your money into Ripple. This is a very important tweet, and Ripple tweeted it out a couple of days ago when the climate crisis was at a peak. Right on Earth Day, there have been a couple of days to explore how today's climate leaders are constructing a sustainable future on the backs of debt, even though they know that blockchain innovations and carbon markets can help achieve global climate goals. Here, we're talking about the XRP ledger, not just any old blockchain, so you know what's up. Can you see what it is that they're pointing you towards? Because, look at this. Earth Day may have served as a warning to the crypto community of Bitcoin's impending death, but I think it's great that they are trying to make the world a better, greener place already. Bitcoin's demise must be close at hand, right? So, have a look at this. What we're doing here isn't science fiction, we're actually creating a sustainable future for generations to come. The focus here is on the years to come. Who is telling you that this Ripple is true? Furthermore, where you and I continue from here depends on where you are. XRP uses 110,000 times less energy than Bitcoin, right? So, you've heard it straight from these folks that Bitcoins are terrible for the world economy, right? The climate catastrophe, the climate agenda, but you do realize that XRP is a green cryptocurrency, right? Successfully effective. Alright, folks. So, Bitcoin is like Ethereum in terms of price and revenue is like XRP. It's not rocket science, dude. This is the plan, and we know it. Chris Larsen was absolutely accurate when he said they needed to update the code a long time ago for this very reason. If they are built at the wrong moment, it might spell disaster for Bitcoin, but in my opinion, the developers will make adjustments to the code as soon as they realize the currency is doomed. After all, the chart in question shows a phoenix emblem appearing in the Bitcoin column on the 23rd day of the month, right? So, guys, by that time Bitcoin will have probably crashed and been revived, right? To reiterate, the ideas for a sustainable energy future are literally a warning if you don't trust me that you should trust Ripple. At the same time, what has to happen first is, in my opinion, that Bitcoin pumps along with everything else, right? According to Bitfinex, Bitcoin needs only 53 days to reach $1 million. It is currently $1,172,000 short. In the present tense, Hussein is known as Balaji. I'll accept the bet you buy one Bitcoin, send $1 million USD, correct, said a former Coinbase CTO, who may or may not have been the company's CEO. That means he was placing a bet with that individual. My thoughts on whether or not Bitcoin will be worth $1 million within the next several months. I'm willing to bet $1 million on the fact that hyperinflation does not occur in the United States. I like these dudes. We really have confirmation right here that these folks are perpetually predicting $1 million in Bitcoin, so I think they are telling the truth. But suppose Bitcoin fails to even compete. 100k with top sale and 90k without. What's more interesting, though? Guys, have a look at this. This is not something we made up. You folks who seem to assume we are the regulars have known this for quite some time. Mr. Poole uploaded this picture on August 25, 2020. Right. What do you make of this picture, guys? Nice TO was given to Mr. Poole. That's what you don't say, right? This guy must be completely insane, right? Manipulation of Bitcoins. You can all see how the puppeteer is directing Bitcoin with an invisible hand because the strings are attached to Bitcoin and go wherever the puppeteer goes. Now, I did tweet out the reply to one of these tweets before, I think to Mr. Poole when he posted this image, and in it, I stated that what happens one day when they cut the strings Bitcoin will collapse. He liked that tweet, and I'm saying, guys, right, so it's quite clear that the collapse is Bitcoin is inevitable, right? Once that happens, the value of Bitcoin will crash as the money no longer flows into the system. Since it appears to be starting, boys, let's go ahead and see the secretary. A reason to activate the dormant wallets for Bitcoin are currently a thing. Hi, family, it's Friday, and that means a whole lot of dormant Bitcoin addresses are now live and accepting payments. Absolutely, it's nothing to worry about. Why now, you might ask? Furthermore, I'm rather confident that they must. Concerning the predicament on Mt. Gox, of course. Give all the money or all the Bitcoin back to the creditors, will they dump or hold? This goes right to the narrative that is building about why Bitcoin's price is slowly but surely rising. Many believe that the United States government or American skeptics are responsible for this. I assume that some Bitcoin whales who have been sleeping for a long time have awakened recently. There are a lot of these wallets we're talking about are coming to life, but in only the course of 5 days, 3 whales with a total of 8,199 Bitcoin equivalent to $225 million have awoken. Think about how many wallets will be dormant in the future. But Satoshi is notorious for even Ken has 1 million Bitcoins in his wallet. He hasn't reached out to him at all. If you think about it, all those accounts must be wallets being revived. And then, right in front of the cops who witnessed it or are there now, they dump their Bitcoin. Now, a doorman's address can hold as much as $225 million in Bitcoin, which is comparable to 6,000 BTC at the current exchange rate. The absurdity of which can't be overstated, can it? Furthermore, additional wallets of the same type exist. Wow! 9 years of becoming the best doormans. For the most part, male Bitcoin addresses are inactive. A wallet that can contain $79,000 exists, but which one is it? Would you say that? Is that a wallet belonging to Satoshi? Because I'm not positive about it. What a huge number, guys, it's the same as almost $2 billion. Imagine that as a single, massive sell order. Can I place a market sell order with a limit? The value of Bitcoin will inevitably plummet as a result. Do you see how Bitcoin's collapse is plausible now that you've imagined everyone selling their Bitcoins at once? You guessed it, the giants will have 79K that's been sleeping for 12 years, and Bitcoin was only 93 cents when he got it. What is that? Correct, gents. If oh my, here is yet more justification for your familiarity with Bitcoin, right guys? Since things aren't looking good for Bitcoin, I'm stocking up on XRP from BitCrypto BitLord. I heard rumors on the dark web that someone has been cracking older Bitcoin paper wallets. At first I didn't believe them, but this is too coincidental, so I'll be transferring my treasure into Armory. This means that the recipes for treasure 212 and 24 word may be at risk. Those Bitcoins, fellas. Oh my, we exclaimed to the pioneers of this first ray, and now the rest of the pack is catching up. I refuse to accept it. There's no need to emphasize that it probably isn't anything but the weakest of the created ones. It was probably simply a kid using mom and dad's computer at home. Right. Selecting the easy ones to work on and the easy ones to worry about is like selecting fruit from the ground instead of the tree. How riveting. Interesting. I like these dudes. No doubt about it, those sailors in the Essing Brick Skies race are gnawing their nails. Some old wallet generator must have been compromised unless these wallets are connected to the Mt. Gox cold storage. Wow. Therefore, the only possible explanation is that someone has broken old wallets, right, because security back then was not good at all, guys, right, or that it is related to the Mt. Gox problem that occurred back then where the hacker stole a lot of $500 million when I was staking. Again, if I'm not mistaken. These addresses and private keys are being generated correctly on a website. In 2010, or whenever it was, a lot of people saw that their wallets were suddenly activating themselves in relation to different assets. This was both interesting and alarming. Holy cow. Would you mind explaining how a wall generator can be broken into? Some permutations of seed phrases are more likely than others, making them easier to brute force if the best source of random isn't truly random. Some paper wallet generators have seen this before, but never on this magnitude. So, really evil guys are being recruited. It's ironic that all of this is transpiring just before the collapse. Right. So wow, that's a chilling idea. Calculator with quantum properties once more. This is really insane, right guys? Once more XRP has returned. Is XRP the safe haven coin among all these X currencies and Bitcoins? It's often said that Bitcoin is similar to gold in that it can be used as a store of value. Bitcoin dumping, right? Mt. Gox and the US government accounts are conducting transactions. People are now suggesting that they will dump all of their Bitcoin as soon as he does this. However, I disagree. In fact, I've heard that this is completely wrong. Still, we have no idea what's going on, so it's best to be prepared for everything. This is the catalyst for the reactivation of the world's storm barriers. Keep this in mind at all times. Men, if you want to know how this relates to Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox, just head on over to Silk Road. This has to do with the United States, so if you hear any of these government or agency names, run the other way. Pay attention, dudes. After this video, I'll go into detail about something crucial. The stolen monies from the Silk Road accounts clearly went to Mt. Gox without making any devious stops along the way. The Japanese cryptocurrency exchange Mt. Gox has closed. However, it too had been the victim of a $500 million hacking series. And this meant that by the time we had tracked it to Japan and Mt. Gox, we couldn't access any relevant records. But don't forget that the information recorded in a blockchain cannot be altered once it has been recorded. So, we followed the money from Mt. Gox to a bank in the United States by use of the blockchain. So, that's it, fellas. I just couldn't hold out until later. Because we who assert that it has been since the beginning of time will not be misunderstood. But not us. Oh, my. This is why space hackers need to be extra cautious, right? We believe that even if your cryptos are hacked, it will eventually knock us out. They will be followed and followed up on thoroughly. Why? Since all deals are recorded in an immutable ledger, or blockchain. If you can see the transaction on the blockchain, you can potentially trace the hacker's theft of all your crypto at some point in the past or the future. Guys, you know that it'll be cracked in some way. I can't say. But we've known this for quite some time. You do realize that absolute command and control will be exercised over everything, right? It won't leave this spot. The ledger, if I'm not mistaken, is right here. Which never goes to bed. Be prepared, but also distributed, since technology. All these cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and other nonsense, but the fact that Chase makes such a great teammate came as a complete shock, and it led investigators back to the Silk Road Task Force, where they met Sean Bridges, a Secret Service agent. But Sean Bridges was not your typical Secret Service operative. The NSA was part of his dual-duty assignment. When it came to Tor and anonymizing technology, he was the government's go-to man. Just so you know, there isn't all that much here compared to Mt. Gox. That's about as special as it gets, other from the fact that it involves Bitcoin. JP Morgan was one of Bernie Madoff's banks, and the bank discovered the Ponzi scheme a year before the Ponzi scheme ultimately collapsed. They withdrew the bulk of their holdings from the Madoff fund without informing their fellow investors, who were also with Madoff, of the withdrawal. Over $2 billion was recovered in a lawsuit filed by JP Morgan account holders who were also Madoff clients who claimed the bank breached a fiduciary duty to them. The executives deserved to go to prison. The JP Morgan bankers were sentenced to prison. They were never incarcerated. Interesting. All in all, the system seems quite rotten to me. Guys. Right, the entirety of this system is tainted. Gary will not be serving time either. Those Clinton blues sure are funny. So, I'm presuming, and I'm fairly sure after seeing the video, that someone asked a senator, if I'm not mistaken, to ask Gary a question about Clinton, the Clinton administration, or something like that. But I don't want to, and I doubt that I would even watch more than the brief clip. But seriously, guys, there will be one place for everything. Are you blind? Mt. Gox and UAC are both government agencies, correct? It turned out, though, that a tiny number of users received notifications because a bug fix that went live today had triggered them. And then, shortly, a statement will be made along these lines. Basically, nothing says future decentralized currency like a tweet from a bogus crypto intelligence organization called Angel causing the market to plummet by almost 10%. All this did was manipulate the market. Catastrophic. Discouraging news has little effect. However, the crash is caused by a bogus tweet. Right. So, folks, it seems like everything is a sham and you should be ready for anything. But you raise a very significant point. As of late, Bitcoin has been doing anything the EFF does, right? Nothing as far as I'm aware. There have been no technological advancements, big pumps, or significant increases in usage, suggesting that this company is on its way to becoming a ghost chain. Exactly. How prepared do you feel? In the end, I have no doubt that they will succeed in saving. Let's not count on having a stable financial foundation again, so who knows, guys? Mr. Poole did forewarn that others were also arriving and that the string will soon be severed. There will be no way to avoid a synchronicity with the collapse and the conclusion of basin exploits by at least a year. It's all over today. Please hit that like button and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.